In this part 4, we will use the horizontal axis filled with dates. So we'll start project today, and this value of today's date will be in the text format. So we can format that to the text. So its value is 44201. We continue with the ID, which is sequence count of the man hours. The predecessor, data validation over the ID range. Let's say we can hire a maximum of 5 men per task. So data validation, sub items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the maximum. And there are 3 shifts in a day. So data validation, list of items, maximum of 3 shifts. So the start day formula. If the predecessor is empty, and it's empty. If the predecessor is equal to the ID, that means the task precedes itself, so it's 0. If the predecessor is greater than 0, otherwise, that's the predecessor, I'm talking predecessor, greater than 0, then index the predecessor over the ID range. So over the ID range. So I dollar 3 until the I column. Then enter. That's the formula. Now we can drag this because the references are locked. So this refers to B10. Well, this refers to B9. Now we continue with the number of days, which is equal to our formula. The man hours divided by the quantity, 8 times the number of shifts times the number of men. Enter. We'll correct this. So if the man hours is empty, so if the man hours is empty, if the man hours is empty, then otherwise calculate. That's better. Next, we continue with the end days, which is our formula. The start day plus the duration. So this condition. So if this is 0, then it's empty. So so if the total is 0, then it should be empty. If the total is 0, then it's empty. Otherwise, calculate. Enter. Now that's better. Let's say we have a default 1 man per shift and 1 shift per day. We drag this downwards. So that's our days and duration. Let's say task 1 is the first task, no predecessor, it precedes itself. So it follows itself. Task 2 follows task 1, and task 3 follows task 2. And we continue with the task day, which is equal to our formula. the start date plus the start days. Enter. So we have to clean this. So if this is empty, if it is empty, then it's empty. If if the start days column or the start day column is empty, then it's empty. Otherwise, calculate. That's better. Next, we continue with the start date, which is equal to our formula. The start date plus the end date. Then enter. Again, we'll empty that. So we copy this area. If the end date is empty, so if the start date is empty or the end date is empty, if that's empty, then empty. Otherwise, calculate. Something's wrong. There is no if statement. So we need to add the if statement. If, that's better. Then continue with the chart. We'll chart this. Insert chart. And it's a bar chart. Use front row as header, column F as label, and we use a bar chart. We'll shorten this. We'll add a few more series. And the series to add is the task start date, but we want the entire column. And another series, which is the duration in days. We want the entire column. We'll delete this, remove this, and here we have the chart. Then we'll edit the chart again, change the series. The task start date will be colored grayish, grayish. And this will be, we'll change it to, we'll white this out. Text color is white. And this one, we'll change this to weeks. And the horizontal axis, we should change it to 44201. Okay. And this one will change it to days. So date and time. We'll change it to this one. Apply. And we'll continue the grid locks. We want both minor and major ticks. And we'll change this to step 28. And this one also step 1. So we have 28, and we'll mark this 7. That is 7 days. And so every week, and this is 4 weeks. That's 20. That's the number of weeks. Let's say I'd like to add 3 more tasks. And the default will be still 1, and I'll add 3 more tasks, maybe 4. Add 2 more, fill this up, and 900 man hours, 800 man hours, 400 man hours, 600 man hours, and drag this downwards. So task 4 follows task 3, task 5 follows task 4, and task 6 follows task 5, and task 7 follows task 6. And drag this downwards to refresh. So here we have the task ending. We forgot the end date. So this is equal to the maximum of the end date. Then enter. So we end at May 7. Continue with this one. You drag. I'd like to add another 3. And let's say 200 man hours, 500 man hours, 700 man hours. And task 7 follows task 6. Task 8 follows task 7. And task 9 follows task 8. And task 10 follows task 9. And drag this downwards. Let's say a project can start immediately. Take, for example, task 6 can start immediately. Drag this downwards. Let's say task 10 can follow task 2. Change that. That's task 10. Task 10 follows task 2. Let's say I'd like to add task 4, change task 4, shorten task 4. I'll have 2 men. And task 5, I want to change it also. I'll have 2 shifts. Drag this downward. Let's say I want task 10 to have 2 men. I want task 1 to have 3 shifts. I want task 9 to have 2 shifts. I want task 5 to have 2 men. Copy and save. Let's say I want task 3 to follow task 10. So this is task 3. I want it to follow task 10. Copy and paste. You can go downwards if you want to add something. So these are the weeks, and these major lines are 4 weeks. So each tick is 1 week. And the project end date is August 7, 2021.